Hey everybody, I'm here to show off the progress for Basic Industries. Now, I did make a release here rather recently. It's still an alpha release, it's still really early, a lot of work still needs to be done, but overall it's functional. It can be used, it can be played with. There are recipes, so it actually can be used in the world. Things like resistance values and stuff still need to be worked on, and there isn't power consumption at the moment. One of the first power consumptions will be implemented will be a burner fuel thing, which will work just like a Minecraft furnace. So let's get started by showing off what there is. You can technically use this as a tutorial, but I'm not showing crafting recipes, so you have to find somebody else for that. Now this is a brick furnace. This is part of the tier and a half, with tier 1 being vanilla stuff. Works just like a normal furnace, except that it has 2 input slots and 2 output slots. It will actually cook both items at the same time and output both at the same time, so you could use this as a bit of a more compact furnace, but it's just mainly meant to be a intermediate step before you get to the higher tier machines, which are these over here. Now, the higher tier machines, unlike most mods, are dynamically built. You don't just craft a machine and then place it. You actually build a frame. As you can see, here's the frame. You can also, unlike glass, which let me show this off real quick. I'm actually kind of slightly proud about this feature. So you got glass, which you can see through the one side, but you can't see the other side. These, you can actually see the inside frame. Surprisingly, the code is actually already in Minecraft for this to render both sides, and you just have to basically call the render method twice. But you build a frame like this. Now, you can't interact with it, so you're going to have to put a core in it. Now, there are 4 cores currently inside of the mod. There will be more cores, and there will be more complex machinery as we go. Right now, I've implemented the basics, which are the crusher, grinder, smelter, and sawmill. These will get you through most of the game. That's pretty much all you need. Now, each one of these is going to produce a different ore step. But when you right click, it'll build a machine in here. This is the machine. I know the graphics are a bit low, but I'm recycling vanilla textures at the moment. As we go, I will implement more customized visuals for each of these. And of course, the item textures will start to look a lot better. This will eventually also have some actual animation to it as well. Now, this will allow you to open up a machine. Ignore the slot numbers. Use this debug to help me kind of fix the shift click support and everything else. But this is the main crafting screen. This is where you'll handle most of the interaction. You'll do most of your work. Second screen is your modulars. This will be settings, recipes, and then help. But these two will be implemented probably here in a couple weeks. This one will be implemented I don't know when, because right now nothing needs settings. But in the modular screen, this is your input slot, this is your output slot, your power and control. Control is not actually implemented, and power will be implemented here sometime this week or next. But let's get some inventories. Now, there are 4 inventory slots. You've got your single inventory slot, which only gives you 1 slot. The chest, which currently gives you 6, but I might upgrade this a bit larger. The hopper one, which will give you, I believe, 4, and the dispenser will also give you 4. Both of these actually functionally work, but have not been implemented with their extra features. The hopper will give you the ability to auto-export to certain sides. For example, if I put it in the input slot, I would auto-suck items from the top of the machine. If I put it in the output slot, it would auto-displace to all sides. That is given if you right-click the sides and allow output. But we're going to put some chest upgrades in here. Now, even though each slot can actually take more than one of these, it's only going to actually use one. If you put a couple in here, it won't function properly, and I'll be fixing the slots here so it only takes 1 here later. It's just a little extra code. But now we've got 6 slots. This means you can have 6 items in the input, 6 items in the output. It's only going to still process once, so don't get the idea that it's the same as the actual furnace. If that changes, this entire output will turn into 1 slot to indicate that this entire input is going to be consumed at once. But that'll come here later, and I'll make a lot better indication if that is actually the case. Now let me stick some more in here to show you that it actually does work. It does have shift click support, but it's a little finicky. This is a ghost item, so even though you might think it's a duplicate, that's a ghost item. That will be fixed here later too. That's the shift click support that I'm currently in the process of fixing that likes to act up. If I actually go and place this, it won't place properly. See, it disappears. But yeah, it'll process rubble. Rubble is the first step in the process of breaking ore down. This will give you 1 item, then you grind it to dust, it'll give you 2. It's a good way to get early double duplication. More will be coming here later. During this process of breaking it down to rubble, you'll be getting things like nuggets out of it in return, random items, gems. When you go to break it down to dust, you may get stone dust and a few other things. There will be a washing process where you'll get cobblestone dust out of, which then you can turn into actual stone bricks or concrete or whatever. And then you might get 2 or 3 ore types. So it'll kind of act like GregTech. And these machines actually are auto-outputable. I've actually got a full setup here already that actually goes from start to finish on the ore processing. So if I actually put gold in here, it'll process it from start to finish. Now when I implement power support, you'll see a couple more slots show up here on the bottom. This is the reason why this whole bottom is empty right now, is that there will be, say, anywhere from 3 to 4 slots over here. Then there'll be a fuel indicator here. And there might be some more slots over here for active upgrades or battery slots. So if you put like a battery in there, you'll see a battery bar come across this side, and then you'll have your battery slots. That way you can put a input and output in here just like you would do with like mechanism, IC2, thermal expansion. But as you can see, it made the rubble. The rubble is now being turned into basic dust. This will be dirty dust, which then you'll wash until clean dust. So it'll have that full ore processing step. We'll be adding chemical processing here later, which will allow you to get much better yields out of your ore. It will cost a bit more to do. Some ores will actually require certain steps to process, like aluminum. We're probably going to take that to a realistic approach because we're going to use the aluminum for high tier things like rocket casings. As you saw, it turned the gold rubble into dust, and then dust is being smelted down. Now all of these stages can be smelted. So you can take the rubble, put it right in a furnace, it'll smelt. You can put the dirty dust, it'll smelt. Clean dust will smelt. And of course you can smelt the rubble straight up. There will also be other things implemented here pretty soon. Scrap metal will be implemented, so you'll be able to salvage every single thing in every mod. So you'll be able to put it in there and they'll give us scrap metal back, it'll give you broken circuits, and you'll break those down if you get the raw resources. But that's pretty much it so far. These are just going to be the introductory machines. These are just to help you as users get accustomed to the more larger machines. This is, think of this like a baby step from playing IC2 and going to something bigger. This will be the small machines, and as we go, we'll be building machines that are like immersive engineering, really large, but highly dynamic. So instead of being forced to a rigid frame like you would in a lot of other mods, you'll be able to dynamically place your machines. You'll be able to build a grinder pad that'll be a 40 by 40. You'll be able to put conveyor belts, robotic arms, doing a lot of other things with these mods. Especially when it comes to things like atomic science, you'll be able to build dynamic reactors, particle accelerators, stuff like that. Still not sure if we're going to do atomic science as an add-on for this, but other than that, there will be some add-ons. There'll be a lot of farming stuff. There'll be pretty much a little bit of everything. We'll be trying to make them in small packages, so those of you that make mod packs can more customize your mod packs to how you like them, rather than being forced to take a whole bunch of machines in. We'll give you options. We'll also try to give you guys configs to control all the behaviors of these, and try to make it as easy as possible. But that's it in the mod. There is a lot of crafting parts in here. One thing you may have noticed is we actually have something like BuiltCraft facades. Now these aren't fully implemented. What these will be used for is you'll be able to right click the sides of these machines and it'll turn into the block that you visually right click it with. This will allow you to hide your machines in walls, decorate them, kind of make them look better. We'll also be doing readout panels, so you can right click the side with a readout panel and you'll get an actual visual rendering bar of the inventory and how quickly it's processing, so you can keep track of what's going on. Other than that, nothing else to really show off here, and I'll have more of these videos for you guys later and more updates from the mod.